Hey everybody, it's Billy from Spicy Ginger Soap. I got a request to do a packaging video, which I actually needed to wrap a whole bunch of stuff. So I was like, yeah, of course. Now, the one thing that I don't have, that I don't need to package, which they commented on this specific video of my Cupcake bath fizzers. I don't have any that need to be wrapped right now, but I will just talk about them for a second. So for this one and this one, which you can see are not quite as wide as the Fruit Loop cupcake, I used 4x6 shrink wrap bags. So these fit in there just fine. And then what I did was I put them on, and then I just like folded the bottom under and then sat them on the countertop and shrink wrapped around them, and then just shrink wrap the bottom real quick, and that's what the bottom looks like. And that's, I'll either put the label on the bottom or just right here. So that's how I did that. For this one, I had to use the 6x6. I'll show them to you real quick. I had to get 6x6 bags because the 4x4s didn't fit. These are wider to be able to get around this one. So all I did, same thing, open it up, slide the cupcake in, and then I just folded the bottoms down like this, set it on the counter, shrink wrapped it, and that's it. Easy peasy as far as those go. And then I'll show you guys how I wrap my soaps and my bath bombs. And it's nothing, you know, real different than a lot of people do it. I printed up a bunch of labels, which you can see all right here. So I have like a stack right here of several different labels. And what I use is scrapbooking paper. I just buy the big package, like, I'll show you. For instance, this is one of them. I got this at Walmart. I think it was like $10. And it's got 50 sheets. And this one's actually really nice. This one might have been a little bit more expensive because it's double-sided. And it's nice, thick, like cardstock. And it's funny, like they cost the same amount a lot of the times, but sometimes they'll have real thick paper and the other times they'll be more thin. This is a real thick paper, maybe because it's the double-sided. And then I've got, let's see, show you guys a different one. Like, here's another one. Oh, this is another one. And this paper is actually thick too. But this one right here is just one-sided, and it's a little bit thinner. This is actually still pretty nice weight paper, but it's not quite as thick. So those are what I like to use. And so there you go. I've got like a huge variety. Got some here made up. Got my Frisky Fuji apple. It's got my website, my Etsy, and then the name of it, handmade vegan soap, weight, and then the name over here with the description, the scent description, Henderson, Nevada. And then my ingredients right here. So I'll show you guys how I just basically just wrap it like that, and then take my hot glue and I seal it. And I do kind of just like crease the edges a little. Oh, oops. And then I take my soap bands. These are from Wholesale Supplies Plus. You can get them a lot of other places too. I think they're like 200 for $6.95 or something like that. And then I like to, they have a perforated tab that you just pull to open the soap. I like to make sure that's on the bottom. You don't have to, but I just slip it in there. Basically what I do is I usually do several, well, or all of the wraps, and then I do the shrink wrapping all at one time. So basically I just go through and as you can see, it basically, the ingredients are on the side, the front, and back. And this is not my design. I got this free template from Petal's Bath Boutique. I was looking for cigar band templates all over the place. And basically, I think I Googled it to find it. I can't remember specifically, but I want to say that might be how I found it. And she's got like the template on her website, and I think you can even get to it through YouTube. I'm not positive, but how generous of her. She just shares that with everyone. What you have to do is, well, what I do is I change it up for what works for me. Like, for instance, this, it works perfectly, which I recenter things and just move the text boxes around, that's what it is. It's their text boxes, and for each different thing. Like this, the top part is one text box. This website part is another text box. This is another, this is another, this is another. So it's broken up in several different text boxes. This is a text box. This is one, this is one. So what you do is you can move those around to basically conform to whatever you need, wherever you need it to be. For instance, like I said, this one, I did move things around, but for the most part, this works for this size bar. So basically like a standard size bar it works for. But if you have a tall and skinny bar, obviously that's not going to work. I'll show you why. Okay. So if you put this around here, that's obviously not going to work, right? So what you have to do is, here's one that I've done. I changed my text box to this side and shortened up the left side of the cigar band so that when I wrap it, oh, I wanted to show you guys one of these bars. Hold on, let me find it. Oh, this one. Look at that. What do you see in that? I wonder if anybody else sees what I see. So comment below if you do. Okay, so basically for this one, I'm going to, same basic thing, but I'm going to have to, actually this one may not line up properly. I may have to go back to the drawing board for this one, folks. Yep, that's not going to fit. So, so that's why you have to change them up. But I'll show you a different one. So I didn't check that one. I thought it would work because I had kind of done it the way I did my electric lemonade. But that's okay. That happens. So this one, the way that I have to do this one, it's not perfect. But there you go. Basically, line it up there. And so my ingredients are on this side instead of this side. And there you go. I actually have to trim a tiny bit off this end. Okay, so let me glue that one. My glue is, I gotta put a new glue stick on here. So there you go. That's how that one looks. I've got my Avo Bath. These bags, I'm sure most of you have worked with shrink wrap before. If you haven't though, just plan on ruining some, because if you've never used them before, you got to get used to working with them. And it can be a little bit, I don't want to say hard or tricky, but you definitely have to get the hang of how much heat you need and how much you need to. Here's my Sweet Kisses. That's the band that I made for this one. This is the one that has the embeds on top that went crazy on me. Accelerated. So that's the... This is the one I made for it. This one's actually real thick paper. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and kind of like crease it. That's another thing. It kind of looks nice sometimes if you go in and crease it first, after you know where you need the creases to be, and then put it on. It kind of looks nice and sharp. The edges do. Crease that one in the wrong spot. So there's that bar. Then I'll show you a couple shrink wrap and then just what they look like at the end result. This is my first time using this one, so I'm going to go with low first, just because I'm not familiar with You might want to just work with low all the time, depending on. Usually, yeah, this is pretty slow, but usually I just kind of do the sides, then the ends, and your hands will kind of get hot doing this. After the end of it, my hands are on fire. So try to keep your hands away, but a lot of the time you've got to, well, I'll show you why. This is actually moving pretty slowly. I don't think this one's as hot as my old one. So on the ends, I usually heat it and then kind of rub it on the countertop to make sure it's nice and smooth. And just be careful near the perforated edge. You don't want to bust it open, and that's where you will if you're not careful. So that's the way that it looks when it's shrink wrapped. I just make sure it's kind of in the middle. Well, it is in the middle, not kind of. The good thing about this not being as hot is I'm not busting it, and I'm pretty close, but it's kind of taking a long time. It's usually quicker than this. So there's my frisky Fuji apple. Looks nice. All right, so that's, I mean, not much else to say about that. Just do that. And then for my, I don't know if you can see this. Let me move it over a little. For my bath bombs, my bath fizzers, I have to use the bags, which I just used the 4x6 bags like I showed you before, this size, 4x6 inches, and you have to have not only the heat gun but an impulse sealer, which is this right here. And what I do is I just kind of like hold the bag like that. I bring it here and then I just close it. And then you have to cut this edge off. I guess you don't have to, but you should, otherwise it's going to look super messy. So you can see I already did some of them. I've even got my little mini bath bombs in here too. One of my Tutti Frutti bath bombs. This one smells so good. All right, so that's how that goes. And then I usually just go ahead and do these on high. And one thing I noticed, these 4x6 bags already have like a little hole in them, but my 6x6 bags don't. If you don't have like a little hole poked in the bag, you have to poke one yourself, because otherwise it just like puffs up. Maybe I'll show you as an example. Okay, so that's how the bath bomb looks. Now obviously there's not a perforated tab on this one, but it looks nice and it's protected. I'll show you what these ones without the I guess I'll just do a bath bomb. One of my strawberry bath bombs. All right. So this one, see how it puffs up? And eventually, obviously, it'll go down, but it would shrink a lot quicker if it had the hole in it. So, like I said, if you have bags that don't have a hole in them, go ahead and poke one in there. Otherwise it takes longer. Ooh, hot. There you go. This bag was a little bit too big for it, but anyways, so that's how that looks. And basically, with those, after I shrink wrap them, and this is something that I would really like to do something different, but I haven't figured out what yet. I have had several different ideas, but I haven't decided on one yet. What I do is I have like the 4x2 labels, and then I just put 4 descriptions, and then I just cut them out, and then I just stick one of these on here. But I don't like that. So I've thought about using a round one, but this is too big. I mean, if I put that on there, it wouldn't fit right. Thought about getting smaller ones, but then the information isn't going to be, it's not going to be big enough to fit the information on it. But because these are square, well, they're not square, but you know what I mean. Because they're a square rectangular type shape, when you put them on here, they kind of like scrunch up, and they just don't look very professional or neat. So I've even thought about just not labeling them and just sticking like the information on some type of card with the package, or even like putting them into a little bag and putting like a label on the bag. I'm not really sure. If you guys have any great ideas, I would love to hear your thoughts about a great way to label bath bombs. I saw one person okay, so here's all my scraps from cutting out my labels. And I have seen people that use literally this thin or maybe a little bit thicker of paper, and then they bring it around like this, and that's how they label their bath bombs. But boy, that seems like a lot of work and a kind of a pain in the butt. Like to actually put this around every single one of your bath bombs, and you know, maybe put a sticker right there, or however it is they do it. The ones that I saw, I can't remember where it was, but it was printed, the information was printed on here, and then they, you know, they put it on there. And I thought about, well, just using these scraps, because I hate wasting stuff. I hate it. So like, I've forever been trying to figure out what I could do with these stupid little scraps. And at one point I did put them on and then like put a sticker with the information like on there, but it just didn't work. It didn't look right. So these go in the recycling bin, unfortunately. But anyways, so that's basically how I wrap everything. Like I said, it's nothing new, it's nothing exciting, it's nothing really ingenious. But I do like the way that my soaps look wrapped up with the cigar band on there. If you guys have any other questions, or you know, you want help with anything else, or you're wondering about something here that I didn't address, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, that's, oh, I'll show you. Okay. I'll show you some of my other packaging that's already done. I don't have any that need to be done, but there's my emulsified sugar scrub. I just use a 4x2, but I do have to actually cut the bottom and the top off because they're a little bit big, so I need to find like something that's like 1.8 inches by 4 or 3 or whatever. That's not the problem. The problem is the width. So I do need to find a label that's a little bit not as wide. I have used these as well, which is the 2-inch round. This is one of my whipped shea butters. And then here's one of my, this is Rose Water Refresh. I actually don't have this on my Etsy site, but I use it. I make it for myself and my daughter and, you know, my family, and I always offer this to people when I, you know, people that I work with or whatever. It's just a rose water and glycerin toning, setting, refreshing spray. I use it as a makeup setting spray. So like after I put on my makeup, I always spray this on my face. And then during the day, if I'm feeling, you know, tired or dry, I do a little refreshing with it. But those are also the 2x4 labels, and I print these out myself. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have any other suggestions or requests for videos or information, let me know. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.